wingman.
Take the shot, Moose. Take the shot.
Oh.
I
We're not
can
even
take
talking
the shot
about
from
that.
here. Come on.
Take the shot, Moose. Get out the way, Moose. Get out the way. I got the shot from here.
Hard right. Hard right.
Give me 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds.
10 more seconds. Hey, I'm gonna hit the brakes. He'll fly right by.
I almost got it, Moose. Get out of the way.
Oh man. Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Podcast for Sci-Fi.
Sci-fi.
Podcast for sci-fi.
There you go.
Oh, what
You
was
got a
that?
podcast like that.
Yeah,
the
you
rest
got a
of the
little.
night.
You
Yep.
saw that? Yeah. No Top Gun tonight though. No Top Gun. We're playing around like we're going to talk about Top Gun. Oh yeah, here we go. Ready? That's what we need. I need to go.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's do this. I got to do this. Hold on.
Do it.
All right. Hey, let's do this.
Where's the
Hold on.
child? Where's the child? I'm here for the child. Who are you?
No, I was going to do it. I can't do it. I can't do it away. Oh, you want to do where's
Where's the child?
Hey, can you do the voice when you're not on the picture?
That's what he was trying to do.
That's what I was trying to do. I can't do it.
I need the child.
Gigi doesn't know
Where's
where he
the
is. That's
child?
why he's like, "Can you do it?" Anyone?
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, he's laughing and talking into the helmet. You're making this non-authentic. I don't know what you're doing.
You can't see my face. That's what I got paid
What else
for.
do you want me to say?
But you're still Oh man. Hey,
Oh.
Moose, take those helmets away from him. He's not allowed to have those helmets.
You gotta text
Oh,
me
man.
what you want me to say. Stop playing around.
Oh, all right. Let's try it again. Go back.
Okay.
Can we rewind time? Let's go back to the beginning.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
I'm not so sure.
A lot to talk about tonight.
There's a lot to
Oh,
talk about
man.
tonight.
And you know there's a lot
Yeah.
to talk about when we're not talking in the pregame.
I know, because there's
you don't want to
so
give
much
nothing
you
away.
can say. Yeah.
You don't want to give nothing out. You don't want to give nothing away. Hey, I do gotta say, I do want to give this away, Moose. Hey, hair looking good today, man.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, you look like you got younger. What you do? What's
Yeah,
different?
well, yeah. I just blew dry my hair.
Oh, nice. That's
That's
nice.
all.
Nice. It looks good. It looks good. I appreciate
Yeah.
that look.
I got to know what we're talking about tonight. So we got the aha moments, the
Yes.
appraisal.
vision
Oh, wait a minute.
board.
Sorry, that's my business stuff. Sorry.
The vision
I just got the
board.
wrong
Yeah.
notes.
The thought bubbles.
Yes.
There is a lot to talk about.
Mike's doing the TED Talk today. Go ahead, Mike. Lead us off.
The TED Talk.
The TED Talk.
I'll introduce you, and then you come out and finish the rest. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in the audience just cheering the whole time.
No, you're going to be Ted.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Ted
gonna
Lasso?
introduce Ted.
Who am I?
Ted
I don't
Lasso. Cheers. Yeah, if you would have watched Ted Lasso, you would have known what that meant.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
I got to tell you, it's a pretty funny show. There's 2 seasons. It's a pretty funny show.
Yeah,
just saying.
listen, you don't recommend anything but clickbait.
I don't
and
recommend.
You said this-
It's hilarious. It's so far my comedy. Like it's completely my comedy.
Did you see all both seasons?
I did, and I am Ted Lasso. Like I
You didn't
am
have any
Ted
issues with any
Lasso.
of it?
Of course I did, but that's
Okay,
not
okay.
the point. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Hey, what's going on,
Hey.
Alex? I see you.
Alex
Yeah, that's a
likes
great
Ted
show. Have you
Lasso as
seen
well,
that? Yeah. Cheers. Night court.
yeah.
It's a great show. It's a great
Hey, you got
show.
any biscuits,
Oklahoma.
man? Hey, you got some biscuits?
Hey, yeah, boss, right here. I got you, boss. Here you go, boss. There you go.
Oh, yes.
That's over my head.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
it is,
telling you,
yeah.
man. You just got to check it out. It's a funny show. It's straight what it's just me. Just think of
Yeah.
having fun with me. You're having fun with Ted. That's it. Boom.
All right. I'm gonna call you Ted.
Hey, so speaking of that, I got these 2 shirts ordered, and they say they're like screen printed, whatever. And they have a big thing here. It says "I believe." No, it says "believe," on the front.
jeez.
So yeah, it's gonna be great. It looks like a sign. Anyway,
And JP would JP.
Don't even.
See,
kill
this
your
is why,
thought.
this
Kill
is
your
why we
thought.
don't do.
Hey,
This is why we
kill your
can't have
thought.
pregame.
You can't even continue that thought anymore because I know what you're gonna
Yeah, I
say.
can.
So
No.
no,
What?
go to
What
the
am I
next
gonna
level.
say?
No, now you're gonna mention my name.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
No,
Gigi
so-
is Rebecca. Just FYI. So she owns the team. He owns the team.
No, I thought that he would have been. Oh, by the way, Alex, football is life, but it is also death.
Now I gotta watch it because you guys.
But football
make
is
all these
life.
references.
I was thinking him as what's the other one name? What's the other name?
I don't know. There's quite a few.
You know, the other lady in the show.
Oh,
name.
I
Keely.
just pulled it up, so now I
Keely.
know Keely
That's it.
Jones.
Keely. I picture him as Keely. That's a.
No, I don't know. Sorry, got nothing to add. To that.
Don't worry, Game God. It's funny. It's funny.
Hey,
worry.
it's a compliment.
I believe.
It is a
Yeah,
compliment.
now I definitely don't believe that.
Hey, Magic Mike. I guess you're going to be Beard.
No. Well, it could be. I'll
Yes.
play that role. I'm okay with
Yes.
that. It's not me, but I'm gonna play with that. I'll play that role. I'll take it.
What's going on, Rob? I see you out there. We got to
right.
get. I know we got
Rob's
to.
ready.
Let's
Let's
do
go.
this.
Rob said, "Let's go." So press the buttons.
We do. We've done this pregame for long enough.
Oh,
I say we do it.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Oh, let's get. I didn't realize we were already sitting there talking Ted Lasso and all this other stuff. All right, here we go. You ready?
That's
all right.
sci-fi.
You know, we can work it in. Don't worry about it. Let's do this. Star Wars Celebration 2022 has been upon us, and now we got to talk about everything from it.
According to Wikipedia, a nerd is a person seen as overly intellectual, obsessive, introverted, or lacking social skills. Many so-called nerds are described as being shy, quirky, pedantic, and unattractive. We're here to prove Wikipedia right.
Oh, look who they let in.
This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. If it's fantasy, sci-fi, gaming, movies, interviews, we're talking about it. We're talking about it. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, and here's your host, Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike.
Welcome to Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Yes, that's right. I am Moose. And this is episode number 347 of the podcast. We got the whole skeleton crew here tonight. We've got
Skeleton crew.
I am your
Right.
father.
Nice. I like it. Yeah.
I'm just saying, we're gonna break into it. Game God, Magic Mike, what's going on, fellas? I see you in the chat room if you're already there, and if you're joining us on your podcast app, well, thanks for tuning in and listening to us. We appreciate it.
I brought out the good shit
Now-
for this one.
That's
Yeah,
the
I
good
see
shirt?
that. I guess I should have worn my Star Wars shirt, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what we
Yeah,
should-
you have plenty of them.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Or wrap yourself in it.
Or I can wrap myself in a blanket. You got that right.
That's it.
One pig in a blanket coming up.
Like that.
So we've
Best
got,
comment tonight.
Yeah, we've got so many things to talk about. Star Wars Celebration, which just happened this past weekend. Normally we attend this, by the way. We've been to many Star Wars celebrations.
Mhm.
We did not attend this year. That doesn't mean that that we
Magic
didn't
Mike
want to
had
go, and it didn't mean that they didn't want us there. We just didn't. We weren't there. So there you go. There you have it. I'm sorry we weren't there. I'm sorry we don't have pictures and all kinds of special merch from it. We did. I would have loved to have been there.
I got this from Celebration. I was there.
Okay.
Which one? This one or the last one
Who, me?
or the one before that? But if you don't know, Star Wars Celebration happens now it's happening like every year, which is great.
Yeah.
But they come out with next year it's in London. This past year was in Anaheim. I think they'll flip flop. I'd love to see them back in Florida, but that probably won't happen. For
unfortunately, this probably won't happen.
Yeah. So other than that,
the next one's on the Galactic Star Cruiser.
I wouldn't doubt that they did something like that too. And you know what? They would get people to attend. That's the thing. But here's the thing. They talk about all the good stuff that happens from Star Wars at the Star Wars Celebration, all the upcoming stuff, all the stuff that's all the stuff you get excited about, all the stuff we're going to be talking about tonight. Obi-Wan. Yeah, of course we're going to be talking about Obi-Wan if you didn't know. We're going to add a little Marvel in here. Somehow, some way, Marvel and Star Wars are connected. I'll connect those dots for you later on.
Sweet.
It's difficult to know where do we get started though. There's a lot of new shows coming. There's some movies coming. There's some news on some shows. I mean, where do we start? Magic Mike, I'm going to look to you to guide us to the stars. Which star should we stop at?
Roll the D20. Roll the D20. Let's see what you got.
Hold on. I'm trying to get some Game God sound effects going. How was that?
That's exactly why you do what you do.
Perfect.
And I do what
I was going to say, yeah.
That's what he does, and I do what I do.
Rob wants to go straight to Bad Batch. How about we do that then? We'll go ahead and get.
We're going with audience choice tonight. Oh, I like
that's right. Absolutely. Why not?
Door number two. Door number two.
I do have a confession to make when it comes to Bad Batch. And
tell me. And this is the leading up of season 2 of Bad Batch. Yeah.
I actually did not finish season 1.
You should be rejected from the podcast at this point, and I should go ahead and close your account out. So,
all right, so you might close out too because I'm with Mike on that one. So go ahead. It's gonna be podcast one.
Moose is about to close his own
podcast one.
I finished Bad Batch. I know exactly what's going on. You guys are left in the dust here. Look, let me talk about Bad Batch. Season 2 looks impressive. It looks better than season 1. Just with the trailer that I'm seeing.
Thanks, Rob. You got our back. Ridiculous. I appreciate that. Well, seeing the trailer now, I need to go back and watch season 1 because the trailer looks incredible. It looks so good.
Season 1 of the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch has some new characters in it. I think they form a great little. There's some surprises in season 1 for the Bad Batch that you won't know what's coming. And you'll be surprised in a couple of things, but in a Star Wars fashion,
it wasn't that good.
No, I think it was actually pretty good. And but in Star Wars fashion, they connect a lot of dots that you may not have connected already. So then they start connecting other dots, and a lot of times, as you know, in this, for me, no matter which movie trilogy we're talking about or whatever. I just don't think all dots should be connected. I wish they would leave it alone and let's just have some standalones. And we're going to talk about some standalones a little later on with Star Wars, which is good to hear. Although the Bad Batch did connect some dots. They have a ragtag group of renegade rogue stormtroopers that are pretty good. They're pretty good. They each have individual skills. It's actually a pretty good show. If you finish it out, you'll learn something. Season 2 looks good from the trailer. It looks better than season 1, which
it does look better.
I'm pretty happy with.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, we get to see a Wookiee Jedi, so we see that in this trailer, and that's exciting.
Yeah,
man, that is so cool. We get Emperor Palpatine, so it looks like it's better.
That right there is just one of the best, and that's why I'm excited to watch it. Get more Emperor, yes.
Please.
So I agree with you guys, right? The trailer looks great. The trailer looks really good. Everybody's excited, but we felt this way in season 1. I
enjoyed season 1.
Season 1 was for me, and I'm not gonna speak for Mike because Mike didn't finish it as well. But I didn't finish it because I felt like it got too far away from what the trailers showed it to be in season 1, and for me, I lost interest in it. And if I lost interest in it, it's like I can't come back to it.
So here's my issue. I did not lose interest in it because of the show. And Moose, you and I have talked before. I struggle with animation TV shows. I just do. And keeping it going. Like I haven't done Rebels all the way through or Clone Wars. And so I just struggle with it. I tried, but I struggle. I thought it was really good. It was great, actually. I thought the first season was. I just got to push myself to keep going forward with it because I want to see the live action piece.
Moose, it seems like you're the only one who liked it so far tonight.
You just got to finish it out. I mean, you can't start something like that and not finish it.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem, Moose. You know, you gave me advice about Clone Wars and
Yes.
and the what was the other one called? I forgot the other
Rebels.
one. But,
Rebels.
yeah, Rebels. And both of those advice you gave them, both of those were great. Like I was like, man, and I think the biggest thing was like, man, they skip all the filler, they get right to it. Story and action, story and action, story and action, right? You watch the Bad Batch, I feel like I'm watching filler episodes of Clone Wars, of Rebels.
Yeah, but here's the thing. As we know right now, as it stands, the future of Star Wars, you better go back and watch this stuff. If you haven't watched Rebels, you need to watch it. If you haven't watched the Clone Wars, you need to watch it. If you didn't finish Bad Batch, you need to watch it because it's coming. Like there's things in these series that the future of these TV shows and movies are about. And the only way you should get your backstory is by going back and watching these shows. I mean, that's the only way.
You're absolutely correct. However, we also have talked about how they're bringing comics into the canon. So are you saying you got to go read all the comics?
Nope,
if you want to be caught up?
But I'm saying that
point,
most
Mike.
of the shows, that is not that's my point.
Thank you.
He stole my point from a different conversation.
Great point, Magic Mike. Great point. I appreciate you on this podcast. Hey, I want you to know I appreciate you on this podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. So the future of Star Wars is made by who? Who's our new George Lucas?
Filoni.
Yes.
Filoni. Dave Filoni is the new George Lucas. Dave Filoni has his handprint wrapped around everything that you just saw from Clone Wars to Rebels to Bad Batch. That you got to understand. Like that's so. If you're not going to do that, if you're not going to go back to the new Apprentice, then you're missing out. So Dave Filoni doesn't have his hand wrapped up in the comic books, but he does have it on these animation.
Rob and I are kindred spirits because I'm right with him. You know, it's the reason why he didn't finish Visions. It's just hard. I struggle with animation.
Hey, Visions. By the way, I don't want to lead off into something else, but I will. Visions is coming out with a season 2. That's coming.
Yes, they are.
Now, here,
did you finish out season 1 of Visions?
Sure, I did. Yeah, I watched
I did.
1,
I did.
5, and 7. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
now Visions is a different story. Now, so what I liked about Vision was the artistic value that it had, the different animation that it had, and the different viewpoints of it. I did like Visions. I liked it a lot. I liked it so much better that it made Bad Batch look inferior. So so for me, I when you get a product like Visions per se. The only thing Bad Batch did for me was that I want the helmets that they have. That's the only thing.
Well, you better order them. Listen, they have some great helmets. Let me tell you something else. So like in Vision, Star Wars Vision, which was a standalone, I forgot how many episodes there were, but they were standalone episodes. They did not connect any dots. They were just simply different animation. There were some anime. Right. There was some, Bakugan in there. There was some Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right.
There was some different styles of animation. And I guess that's the point is that, so that was great. That was good to see in a different, 9 episodes. So that was good to see in a different way. Visions, there will be a season 2. I expected some of the same stuff.
Hey, Moose, Moose, I'm also proud of you too, man. You stuck through. You knew what Bakugan was and Pokemon. Hey, you just leveled up your anime badge. Good job, man.
That's what I'm here for.
Wait. Bloop, bloop. You got an achievement.
I just saw the pop up on the screen.
So that's one thing that's coming. I have a lot of notes here that I'm looking at because there was so much happening that I could not remember everything in my poor little mind for Star Wars Celebration. But I will tell you this: Star Wars Visions. We talked about that. Bad Batch. What else did we see from that? Oh, there's another piece. Pardon me, as I'm just going through here. There's 2 more pieces coming.
Animation wise, are you sticking with the animation?
Yeah. So I just want to kind of come on. So we know that there's Andor, a TV series through Disney Plus, of course. Andor, they're going to be doing Ahsoka. The Skeleton Crew is something to be announced. Now, this is interesting because the Skeleton Crew, what do you know about the Skeleton Crew? We knew nothing. That's what we know. Here's what we found out. And you guys tell me something. The Skeleton Crew, basically, it's going to be kids. It's going to be Goonies. It's going to be Goonies for Star Wars is what it is going to be. There's 4 kids. They're going to leave a small little planet. They're going to end up getting lost in the galaxy to find their way back home. That's what's going to happen.
The train
Now,
tracks.
that's according to Kathleen Kennedy. So
Right.
with that being said,
who, by the way, is
Skeleton-
Well, it
movie.
takes place
Who?
after
Hey,
Return of the Jedi.
according
It's going to
to
be around
according,
the same timeline as Mandalorian and Ahsoka.
yeah,
hey, according to
correct.
Kathleen Kennedy, getting away from the movies, going to the shows. Go ahead, keep going.
Well, what I thought was interesting though is the fact that you've got who's going to be putting this on. Whose idea was this? Now this is where it gets a little interesting.
Yeah, this is. Go ahead, Moose.
So
this
this is John Watts. Now who's John Watts? You ask. Well, let me tell you. John Watts is the director. What's that?
Thanks for asking. Keep going.
Thanks for asking. He is the mainline director of that was an inside joke. Of Spider-Man. there you go. There you go.
Same
of
delay as the last
Spider-Man.
time.
Yeah, all the recent Spider-Man that you saw, with
Yes.
et cetera, No Way Home, et cetera. This is the director. He's the one who went to Lucas Studios and said, "Hey, this is the pitch, a Star Wars film, a Star Wars show of Goonies in space, kind of, sort of." And
something like that.
so he's going to be doing the skeleton crew. Now I find that interesting because we all know Spider-Man has had great success. So are we going to see the same thing?
Well, I don't know if we'll see the same thing based on that. Because here's why. But however, it's because we talked about Kathleen Kennedy last time and what she was talking about with going away from the main characters and movies, going back to TV, as Game God said. But the great part is that it's sticking around after Return of the Jedi, like I said, with the right around Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So they are still sticking around the timeline. So what they need to do is, because my concern is overall, at what point is Star Wars going to step away from what we know and go, oh, then it just becomes a show about space? We don't want that. So they got to keep the originals intact somewhere. We got to have some storyline that leads to what we know. And so as long as they do that, it's going to be great, I think, because it sounds interesting. It sounds cool. And I'm interested to see how John Watts will do, because this is different than what he's done. But at the same time, be careful, as what we said before with Kathleen Kennedy. Don't stray too far from what's made Star Wars.
All right.
So as long as they stick with what we know, we're good.
So you mentioned a couple of things. I just want to address that. You said, first and foremost, you said, is it just going to be, shows about space, right? Now I got to tell you, at one point in time, I think before, we had asked a question many episodes ago that says, is it too much Star Wars? I remember that question a long time ago, right? Is it too much Star Wars? And when you do too much Star Wars, you can kind of say, to your point, get away from the main topic. But I think that you kind of have to a little bit, right? And here's why. You just have to have one or two strings still attached to the universe, right? But you still got to grow it, right? So I love the fact that how they're playing around post, Return of the Jedi era. I like the way that they're doing the High Republic era. I like, because these are all questions and areas where we know 1, 2, maybe 3 things about it, but we don't know the details. And the only reason why we know the 1, 2, or 3 details about it is because of the legacy characters, right? Because they may have been through it, they may have gone through it, right? Rob mentions in the chat room the Acolyte. Man, listen, the show, the one line that I got out of it, the show will focus on the emergence of the dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. That gives me goosies, right? Because I want to see what that was. Right? We got a lot of story. We got a lot of story with the light side, right? To your point, you mentioned the skeleton crew. And if I'm not mistaken, Jude Law, right?
Jude Law is going to be in it. So let me just tell you, Jude Law, I enjoy Jude Law as an actor, because I think the guy can act.
Yes.
I don't always like the roles he's played. I don't always like the
you didn't like him
he did okay in the Marvel
Miss
universe,
Captain
I guess. Yeah, no, he did okay there. He did okay. But I'm saying, him coming to a Star Wars piece, and when you think about people that are coming over and doing Star Wars, Jude Law, I go, man, that guy fits. He fits.
Yeah, he does. Well, he does it because he plays Dumbledore, right? Young Dumbledore. He does a great job with that. And so he's perfect.
Which is on HBO Max now, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah. But that was my point, Game God, is that you got to keep those strings attached, because I love the direction so far that we're seeing. Just that interview concerned me a little bit. We all mentioned that it's a little concerning, but stick to what we know, keep those strings attached, and then branch out. but also have that back feed, which is, I think, perfect because we want to know different things about the dark side. We want to know how it plays out for the future. You know, where's Baby Yoda going to be because they live to be 900 years old? You know, where's that going to take us in the future?
Right.
You know, we want those things, but we want that connection though.
Well, it's
Yeah.
good to see that there's stuff beyond what we grew up, right? So it's stuff beyond just the characters. Like the whole time Star Wars universe is out there, and I'm talking about the main Star Wars line, like the movies 1 through 9, right? We've only known pretty much about just the main characters, and you always kind of wonder, is there others, right? Are there others?
Right.
Are there other Jedis? You know, you mentioned the Wookiee Jedi, right? And wow, that's pretty awesome, right? You've always heard whispers of it, but you've never really seen it, right? And just like the dark side for me, and obviously I like the Decepticons, you know, I like you know those.
Yeah,
the
but
dark
I mean,
side
there's nothing wrong with liking the dark side. I mean, the Emperor is look. Kylo Ren is just awesome. Darth Vader is the ultimate bad guy. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
and Darth Maul, right? Gone
Darth
too
Maul,
soon.
yeah, why not?
Absolutely, yeah.
R.I.P. You know, it's like, but
Yeah.
but you know, those things for me, I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And when you see this other one that's another animated series, Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, so
Oh,
there's two different anime series two different series coming up, I guess I should say. One will be Tales of the Jedi, as you just mentioned, Game God, and then Young Jedi Adventures. Now, this is interesting because Tales of the Jedi, as you're probably going to say, that's an anthology series comprised of original animated shorts, and they'll have stories from the prequel era, which is interesting because what does that mean? Well, we've got confirmation: Count Dooku, Mace Windu, Anakin, Ahsoka, Qui-Gon Jinn. Oh, and these are all going to be one-off episodes again. So I love that. Now you're taking the original characters, from the expanded piece from the prequels, and still working your way and working your magic with that.
Correct.
I love that. I think that's awesome.
It's like an encyclopedia, right? It's like, you know, you're going in there and you're just getting all like the cross references and all the little detail points. You know, I think it's great.
Well, it is great because there's a couple good things to it. Is one, you get to, when you do animation, you get to do more things, right? You have a lot more options versus live action. And being animation, you're going to bring in the next generation, and that's what makes it really cool because the next generation of Star Wars fans are going to come in. They're going to watch these animation pieces and want to learn more and carry it forward, carry our torch for us, and that's what's really great about it.
Unlike you, Magic Mike, there are not just young people watch animation. I know that you think only young people do.
Yeah,
but the fact is that
at all.
But the Young Jedi Adventures does focus around some young people and younglings at that. So this will be during the High Republic, and it will follow youngling as they learn the ways of the Force. So that's self discipline, compassion, patience, things like that. It'll follow them through that piece. Now I don't know if that's going to be one-off. I don't think that'll be one-off episodes. I think that'll actually follow through with the storyline. So, but I think it's great. I think that's great because now you're teaching younger people, the younger generation who have been introduced to Star Wars. They're going to have their own, once again, animated series. I mean, I look at this as no different than anything else. The X-Men have been around for many years, and all of a sudden you go into the late 80s, early 90s with X-Men, the animated series, or even Batman, the animated series. Right. And you go, man, it introduces new young people to it, and they go, oh, I really like this. So they kind of carry the torch, as you're saying.
That's what I just said.
I said, as you're saying, I just said that.
No, but you're like getting on me about it's not just kids that watch it. I understand that. It's just hard for me. I have a hard time.
What I'm saying to you is I'm going to be watching it. It's not just kids.
Yeah. Mike,
you're right. I know
Mike's
you will.
just saying he's an old soul. But Rob said I was about to say Liam's son will voice the younger version. So again, here we are with the passing the torch piece. So Mike never said that. It was Moose who said it. Go ahead, Moose.
Thank you. Yeah. I can't wait. Speaking of Liam Nelson, I can't wait to see Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. I'm just saying. I'm not saying we're going to see him. We're going to hear him for sure.
Yeah. We're going straight to Obi-Wan now? Now we're going straight to Obi-Wan.
No. I'm just saying.
But I know. I was like, man, are we segueing that fast? I was like,
no.
he You want to be first to market before you and
I did. I always want to
that's
get
all
it
it
in
is.
before you guys do. What's wrong with that? That's no surprise. Mando season 3, not really much shown about that.
I did get to see the trailer that they show that they showed there. Everybody who's listening, Game Guy just put on his Boba Fett helmet. Not even the Mando helmet, but the Boba Fett. We'll take it. But yeah, so I actually did see the trailer they showed at the con.
Well,
believe it
and
or not.
that's supposed to be still hidden. It
is supposed to be hidden.
Yeah,
I saw
so,
that one and the Ahsoka one. I will tell you that. But I also say there wasn't really anything that we weren't expecting. No spoilers really there. It was just to get the hype up. But it got my hype up. I'm super excited to see it. It looks like it's going to be what we called it was going to be, which is going back to Mandalore, and that's where everything's going to take place there. Which that is exciting.
Nothing
Man,
wrong with
that's
that.
so cool.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that at the celebration they had Baby Yoda came up. I knew he was real. And he was there. He was there at the press conference. But yeah, February 2023. As we announce, the stuff we've talked about, and they start to lay these dates upon us. Man, someone sat in a room, no windows, no doors. So they just placed them and built the walls around them, right? And said, I want you to make sure that the timeline is tight. No downtime, and it goes one right after the other. And I gotta tell you, you go from one show like Obi-Wan to Andor, which is like 2 weeks after that, to to you got Bad Batch coming out in the fall. I mean, like they are making sure that they're doing the same thing that the social media manager that's doing for the podcast is that it's always there every day, and that you see it every time, and that you see it all the time.
I've been saying,
like, I'm sorry, that's a plug. That was a plug.
I've been saying we should build walls around that guy and put him in a room and go, hey.
Who said that didn't happen?
Right? Well, listen, so the Bad Batch, Star Wars Visions, Ahsoka, Andor. What about?
Can we talk about Andor for a second? We didn't talk too much about Andor.
Well, let's talk about it. Well, I'm just saying we still have a couple there: Rogue Squadron and Rangers of the New Republic, because it's not. There's
that's Star Wars Silverhawks.
Silverhawks. That was my best. Yeah, it's good. Go back. Let's talk about Andor. Feel free.
So the first thing that stood out for me in Andor, we all saw the trailer, right? Nice trailer. First thing that stood out for me, 12 episodes. 12 episodes. That's the first thing that stood out for me. I'm like, we got 2 seasons in one. It's like
it's actually 24 episodes with two parts is actually what it is.
Yes.
Volume 1s and volume 2s. Yes.
Right, exactly. So they're gonna come out back to back, basically.
Yeah, side A, side B. So I was excited about that. I gotta tell you, the trailer for this, which didn't really show action, right? It showed story. Just show story.
Yeah, it really showed more a timeline and about where you're at and who's in power. And I love that.
Correct.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because
it is the prequel to Rogue One. Yes.
Right. So you're going backwards and you're going, oh wow, it's a different feel. It's a different feel for what you're expecting to see or to
Well, and part of that is because they're changing what they're doing. So this is the first time they're not going to be really using stagecraft for the CGI piece, and it's going to be more about real props and real camera footage. So this is going to be real interesting to see as we go back, to what we know to be really cool. So I think maybe that's why they didn't show a whole lot, because it's going to be really good to not have so much CGI. Well, that was cool.
The thing that really stood out for me was the drums and the epic, like the sounds. Like it sounds like it almost felt. Now I know it's not, but it almost felt like a John Williams piece. Like it felt like that feels you get with a John Williams hearing that. Like that was this trailer. And I watched the trailer a few times, not for the visuals effects so much, but for the sound, the music that's in there. Like when they hit the bell, the anvil that's at the top of the I mean, that for me, that was pretty awesome. And to see that we all of us here and everyone in this, in the Star Wars universe pretty much has said that Rogue One was an amazing film. And Rogue One, when it came out, was one of those scary films, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, did Solo come out before Rogue One? I think it did. I don't know.
Rogue One first.
Okay,
Rogue One came out first.
So, but Rogue One came out, and it was probably the first one that wasn't part of like necessarily tied to the Star Wars universe. I say universe.
It was, but
what
yeah,
not what
it
we
was.
know.
It was a
to be.
one-off. It was a
Yes,
one-off.
yes.
And everybody was like, "Oh, we're doing a one-off. Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah.
This will never work."
Oh, hey, for the record, actually, Moose and I were excited because we compared it to what it looked like Firefly when we saw the picture of it. So we were excited. We did not feel that way.
Yeah, but it was a risk, air quotes, risk.
Sure.
And this movie killed it. I mean, from the beginning to the end, the beach scene, even Darth Vader at the end. Spoiler alert!
In its Star Wars universe, if you look at all the films itself, Rogue One could arguably be in the top 3 of any Star Wars show. I'm saying that it could be in the top 3 of a Star Wars movie. It was that good.
Yeah, well, to your point, the reason why people say that, Moose, is because they're afraid to actually compare it. So they'll say, well, it's not Star Wars, because it would be one of the top 3 if you actually put them all together. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that for me, that was great to see that. I think that's going to be, I don't know if I want to call it a sleeper, because you see the trailer, you kind of hype on it. But before the trailer came out, you're like, man, what's Andor about? Nobody knows what that's about. Man, it's about Rogue One, blah, blah, blah. And now that you see it, like, I'm excited.
Well, I think it's going to be about the building of the Death Star, or leading up to that, because some of the things that we do get to see with Mon Mothma and things of that nature, I think it's going to be leading up to the building of the Death Star. So this is going to be really cool, because who doesn't want to see that?
That's a good point.
Who doesn't want to see anything where you see the Empire actually start just in its full, I don't want to say, in its glory days, where they're just ruthless. And I would imagine the stormtroopers could actually hit everything they're firing at. I mean, that's what you're envisioning, because they were so good.
Mm-hmm. Rob makes a comment. Solo was underrated. Come on, Rob. Come on.
Hey, again, me and Rob are right. We're right together on that. I agree, Rob. I'm with you on that. Absolutely.
I could go. That's another podcast, Rob. That's another podcast. I don't know if I can...
I'm surprised Game God hasn't brought up the Star Wars Jedi, the Survivor, the game.
So we're still in the movies, the movie piece.
Yeah, well, I want to say, because speaking of the movies, the live action of the Rangers of the High Republic, that's going to be a live action on Disney Plus. One of the movies, though, is Squadrons.
Rogue Squadrons.
What is it? Rogue Squadrons. Thank you.
Yep.
That is a movie idea. I say idea. That's one that they're trying to get or they have the director, or the I don't want to say director, because he's done more than director. He's Korg in the MCU.
Okay, yeah.
Take Waititi.
That was good. I'll leave you. I won't say it. You did a great job.
But
what was
anyway,
it again? I didn't hear it. What was it again?
Yep. Korg, the voice of Korg,
Rockman.
But he's doing these the same guy who I think he directed Thor: Love and Thunder, right? I'm pretty sure he did.
He did.
Yeah, I believe so.
But anyway, that's coming. The new Thor movie is coming out. I think he did that one as well. And I thought he did the other Thor. I could be wrong, but I thought he did.
Yeah, he did. Thor.
Ragnarok, yeah. So anyway, he's going to be doing the Rogue Squadron, and I think that's interesting. I don't know if that's a win or not, but that'll be interesting. But that'll be a new film, and that's coming. But not just films.
To all of these things that we're talking about here, I mean, just the names themselves, you're like, that is cool. I mean, Rogue Squadron. Who wouldn't want to go see a movie called Rogue Squadron? I mean, come on, these things are so cool.
Easy for you to say, man. Yeah,
I know.
But one of the things we didn't mention on Mando, I have written down here is Bo-Katan versus Mando for a fight for Mandalore. Is that going to happen? I don't think it will. I think people want to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I think you're right. I don't think we are either.
Yeah,
I don't know how the transformation is going to take place, but I don't think we're going to.
There's a loophole in it. Something happened.
There's another script on the. There's a scribe. Oh, there's an asterisk down here. Let me.
That's the armor.
As of right now,
the armor.
As of right now, he's no longer a Mandalorian. As of right now, so
right.
Title. So maybe that's
the loophole.
New game. So a new game's coming. What do we got?
So here's this one to what Mike was alluding to earlier. So you got the prequel to the Fallen Order, the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now,
which is
the
great.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order was a great game.
Yes. So I played that game in its entirety. I beat it all the way to the end. If you haven't, there is a really
so you did
cool
that, but you
ending.
didn't see Bad Batch or Rebels or anything. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, because it
Keep
was
going.
like light years better than Bad Batch. But anyway,
Okay.
so I did finish it, and for those who didn't finish it, you need to finish it. There is an awesome surprise at the end of that really connects some things there that you would never see coming. But when I saw the what do you call it, teaser of the teaser trailer, it was like 15 seconds. When I did see that, I'm like, take my pre-order. I'm good to go because so what we didn't know was that we would see the little robot in Fallen Order in the show.
BD1.
Right.
Yeah. You were, and the one that you have now,
yeah,
it's not that one. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's a different one, but still.
Yeah. You would, you would the lamp with the wheel. So you would never think that you would see that from the game, but I love the fact. Now I don't know if this was all planned, right? This could have been planned, but the fact that they took the
probably
game,
not.
Yeah, but they took the game and they inserted it into the universe now at this point. Now it gives that game so much validity. So when I saw the prequel to this, man, this reminds me of you remember the Star Wars game that came out on Xbox where it was about the apprentice, the Emperor's apprentice. They made a one and a Unleashed, Star Wars Force Unleashed.
Yes, Unleashed.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they made when he takes down the Star Cruiser.
Yes.
It reminds me of those because those games when they were really great. So
they were good.
I'm looking for it. Now they didn't show no gameplay or anything like that. They showed a back the tank. And they showed us,
and that's the interesting part. See, that's where they going back to other games of going, oh, is this the guy from Unleashed? Oh, does he have scars on his dark side, lightning scars on his body? So anyway, interesting.
So they got that, and here's the other piece here. This is nothing new, but one of the OG classics in the Star Wars video game universe, Knights of the Old Republic. It's finally going to be released in 2 weeks. It's going to be released on the Nintendo Switch. So if you have a Switch,
hey, guess what? Go ahead and get that too, Game God, because that's a good one.
Yes. I'm gonna play that before I watch Bad Batch. But if you do the Knights of the Old Republic, it will be on the Nintendo Switch. So great. So not only are we doing TV shows, Disney Plus is blowing up. Right? Only I like how they say only on with the plus sign Disney.
Yes.
Right.
So you get that. But you're getting video game stuff, and I'm pretty sure around the corner we're gonna get some virtual reality stuff too. So
hey, I got a Knights of the Old Republic big statue of Darth. What was he calling him?
Was it Sidious, Revis, something?
Yeah, one of those. I can't even remember. But anyway, I still have that. It's still wrapped. I think it comes with the game, but it's a big statue. Yeah, I have to look.
Don't open it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that hey, this might be worth some money. It's only taken me 25 years to hold on to it, like everything else I have.
It looks like Darth Revan.
It's Revan, right? Well, that's the key though. So what's the Obi-Wan, which we're gonna get to in just a moment. Obi-Wan, one of the new Inquisitors. What's her name? Is it Revan?
Riva.
Is Riva.
Or Batman.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you why I say that. But go ahead.
Okay, all right. I don't know the connection yet, but yeah, okay. So I just missed it. I was like, I hope they don't try to make her the but anyway, but it's not the same. So there you go. Hey, what about not Star Wars related, but Star Wars related, released at Celebration, the Willow trailer.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go get a cup of water. I'll be back. Listen. Before you guys rant and rave about this, right? Come on, man.
What?
So this came out, and I know you guys got excited. I was never a fan of Willow. As a matter of fact, I think I even asked Moose off. I was like, "What is it about? Is he a wizard or is he?"
So you're telling me you've never seen it then?
He's never seen it.
I've seen pieces of it in YouTube.
Pieces of it. He saw the trailer.
Yeah. So that's exactly right. I saw the beginning and the end, and I read the notes on it. So I'm like, this doesn't. Even watching the trailer now, it doesn't do anything for me, man. I'm just like, I'll pass. I'll watch it on Disney Plus after it's been out for 2 years.
What?
Magic Mike?
I don't even. I'm speechless because of the way he's just dogging it. Listen, this looks incredible. This looks so good. And what I'm really excited about is that the technology has changed. So that the special effects is going to be even better. And I will say though, I will have to go back and watch the original because there's a lot of things I don't remember.
Doesn't hold up.
But
Doesn't hold up.
it's been.
But it may not hold up, but that's okay.
Yes, think about when they did the movie. At that time, it was ahead of its time. So come on.
Yes,
it looks
exactly.
This looks incredible. I can't wait to see
it. Who were the directors of the movie? Do you remember that?
I do not.
All right, well, I'll tell you. I think it was George Lucas and Steven Spielberg.
It was.
So there you go.
Yes,
both.
It was
two greats working on that one, bad boy. So yeah,
this was before they were greats. I got it. Go ahead, keep going.
No, they weren't. They were greats then.
Listen, I'm looking at a still of it. It looks like D&D. It looks like D&D.
Yes, exactly.
And I like D&D, but
apparently not.
No,
hey, he only likes the new D&D moves. He doesn't want the old D&D.
Oh, you like the sixth edition? Okay, good for you.
Cavalier, Archer.
All right, let's move on. Let's move into this the highlight of tonight of the meat of tonight. Obi-Wan Kenobi is out on Disney Plus. If you haven't watched it, 2 episodes in. The new episodes are released every Wednesday. There'll be one tomorrow. We're not talking about that one. We're talking about the 2 that were released earlier. Now,
I really want to hear Moose's take first. By the way,
no, you will not get my take first. As you know, I always go last unless I want to go first.
I always go last.
And he's
here's what I'll say. Obi-Wan did break the Disney Plus viewership record. I do know that. How about that?
Nice.
Put that in your pipe.
Applause right there. Applause.
Okay. Man, I don't know where to start with Obi-Wan.
You're not starting.
We'll go to Game God. We'll go to Game God.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go first. So I watched these episodes one day a piece. Like I watched them one at a time. I didn't want to watch them back to back. I wanted to set in, kind of let it marinate, and then get the next episode and marinate. Right? Yeah, this is me.
Okay.
So because I didn't want to forget what I watched from the first one to the second one or whatnot. And I gotta tell you, episode 1. The way they started episode with the recap of all the movies, I thought that was well done. I thought like
genius.
Yes. Marketing genius. Give that guy a raise. That guy did the job justice because it took all the good parts from the movies and put it all together and it said, "Here you go. You didn't miss anything." I love the fact that it did not start with the Obi-Wan that you remember.
Hey, can I say real fast here?
Here we go.
For any movie that wants to do a backstory of a character, all you got to do is look at this. We know what happened. They just recapped it for us. Can we move forward, please? Thank you, Moon Knight.
Okay.
So
let me hold on before
I got the high ground.
Since we're jumping in, into the recap here. So when it comes up and it says, it'll put up there skip recap. I'm like, I'm not going to skip the recap. You kidding me?
No, me either.
What's the recap? What could possibly be the recap? And
hey, by the way, perfect placement of a clickbait. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
perfect placement. Recap what? I got to watch this. Like
exactly. You're not going to skip this, but here's where the problem is with the recap. How do you have a recap? How do you follow up that recap? How can you follow up that kind of recap to go, here's what Obi-Wan did, all these other movies, and it's just constant boom, 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 going at, right in your face. You're just excited about it. Oh, I remember that. Oh, that was awesome. That was cool. And then you're like, you just kind of go into the story. You're like, where do we go with that? But anyway, because it was that good. It was that good.
Yes,
yeah.
and just the fact that I thought the timing, and I'm not gonna get into details. I'll give you guys to talk about that. The timing on that, and Rob is right. You can't follow that up. Can't follow that recap up. The timing on how they progress episode 1, I thought was well done. I thought that he didn't come out lightsaber blazing. He didn't use the Force. He felt like he was just a pauper. To be quite honest with you, like he was out there working on the labor line. He watched somebody get robbed, and he was like, "I'm just gonna keep my head down."
Not my business.
Yeah. So I love it. I love that.
The fact that he has to stay alive, and that's it's required of him in order to stay alive. What I love is what you just said. I mean, it's the same routine. He's in the routine. He's basically like what we do every day of our lives. We're there. We work. We go. We do our job. We cut it, put it in my shirt, right? And I go home. It's just is showing him as just a regular guy and what he would not be if he weren't a Jedi. Like if he wasn't living that Jedi life. Well, this is what he's doing. He's just doing whatever.
And we knew he was going to be watching Luke Skywalker, right? We knew
Yeah.
it was coming. He's been watching, but it was still cool watching him watch Luke. I mean, that part was cool just to see it from his perspective. That part I really enjoyed that because again, the daily grind. He's just like, okay,
Well,
let me go look
if
at.
you
let me go watch
notice,
him.
if you notice, I mean, even throughout the transition between the two, how money was then a thing. Like he had to
correct.
have money to do things, and before he would just wave his hand over. I don't need any money. I don't need any credits. Like just
Yes.
Look
come on.
at
let me
Rob
in there.
Put Rob's comment up there. Put Rob's comment up there. he's a jerk.
Well, okay. Well, hold on. Let's talk about Uncle Owen here. I want to talk about first. I want to talk about Obi-Wan watching Luke. He obviously is like I'm concerned. I need to make sure that he still is who I think he should be, who Obi-Wan thinks he should be. And of course, Uncle Owen is doing just the same thing. He needs to make sure that who he believes he should be and treats him like a son. I mean, he's just treating him like his own son, not like he has any connection with the Force and can do anything. It's almost like Uncle Owen doesn't believe in the Force. It
is.
Yeah, he's like, no,
and they both.
I think he's exactly
they're
right.
both trying to protect him.
Yeah, I think it's exactly right. I think he doesn't believe in the Force.
Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right.
No different than Han Solo believed in the Force when he met Luke. It's like when he met Kenobi. It's like that's old white. That's of a superstition. That's nothing. That's mythical stuff. Now here's the thing with Obi-Wan watching Luke, and that is if you guys remember in the original Star Wars, Luke picks up this toy, the ship that's flying around.
Yes.
And this is the same type of ship that, of course, Obi-Wan presented and left at the door. I thought that was great. So that was a great move.
He gets it right. That's awesome. Of course, that's those little things that you want to see in there. And then real quick, as the gonk droid gonks every time somebody's putting their time card in. Gonk. Gonk. That part was awesome.
All right, so let's talk about the real good stuff. Let's talk about the Inquisitors. Right now, when these guys land,
jump right to the end. Go ahead, feel free.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's about 7 minutes, maybe 10 minutes into the show. But when the ship lands, right, and the Grand Inquisitor comes out, and that guy right there, I was like, oh yeah. That's the man right there. That's the man right there. That's he's got
to be somebody, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I wish you would know who he is since you didn't finish Rebels. But anyway, but keep on going. Let me hear your thoughts.
I know who he is. I know exactly who he is. So he's in the games. That's third sister, fifth brother. Those
he's in the game.
Those guys are all in the game. So for
second
me,
cousin,
I'm like, yep. So for me, I'm like, it brought again. Here's bringing the game into the show, right? So seeing them there, and I really love the fact they were the ones that had the Force powers, right? That they go out there and everyone is scared of them. There's not a person in that crowd that think the jerk gave the ship back. There's not a person in that town that tried or even thought about standing up to them, right? That's how much.
Oh, there was one. There was one.
Yeah, he wasn't there long.
But no, it was the woman that said.
Well, okay, so Reva. It was Reva, right? So you talk about Reva. You talk about the stood up.
No, I'm talking about. Well, it was Reva, but I'm talking about the lady that says we don't answer to the.
And what she find herself with no hands.
Yes.
Hey,
listen,
it's Star Wars. Somebody has to lose a hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's right.
There you go. Keep it in the history.
That's
there.
right.
But what I love is that they did a great job showing that these guys are ruthless and no one's gonna mess with them.
They did. From the onset of the hand, the loss of hand is when you knew. Oh wow, they're not playing.
Right. And then and even so much so that they would turn on each other. So that with Reva, who's one of the it's the third sister, she's impatient. She's got this. I want to get the job done, and she goes to slice this dude with a lightsaber, and the Grand Inquisitor stops her with his fingers, with his hand. Like I thought that was a great.
That
scene.
was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like the Ren when he stops up. I've completely lost him when he stops that blaster.
Yep.
Right in the path.
You
yes.
Go, what? Yeah. So my problem comes in with the Inquisitors. Actually, in the whole series. So I have a problem with the Inquisitors. Yeah. I have two problems with the Inquisitors, and would you
Okay.
like to know what they are?
Yeah,
I do.
absolutely.
Yes.
Great. Well, first one is I like that they're in the show. I'm a little taken back by the Grand Inquisitors look. I thought they could have done some more CGI on that instead of like complete prosthetic. Like I just didn't think that. I thought he could look better. I thought he could look more like the character in the show.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying there. I think that it's probably a want to show more the actor than the CG. I guess
I'm just saying. Like I not that he doesn't act like a bad guy, because he does.
Right.
But I thought his look could be more slimline. I mean, you go back to the prequels, and it was heavy CGI during the prequels movies, and now look, we've gotten way better CGI than we did then. And you could throw on a green,
put
a
dots
baklava
on
on this guy, and put whatever you want to on him. Like, it's just one of those things.
So you had an issue.
Doesn't it come from the?
No, there's another issue I have. And if you would have watched Rebels, you would know what I'm about to say. And that is, where does this timeline fall in where we're at right now with Obi-Wan? Do you know where it's at in relationship to Rebels, the animated?
3 and 4.
No.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that it's before Rebels, and Third Sister kills Grand Inquisitor, or
Correct.
what seems to be a kill, but he's not dead. He's not dead. How could you kill this guy?
Right.
He's supposed to be this cool, this bad, this powerful, and all of a sudden he dies from a little come on. So that's a problem, because in Rebels he fights Kanan, which Kanan then kills. Anyway, there could be some more things coming from Grand Inquisitor later on, but he fights Kanan. So I
guess
have a
we
problem
just
with that.
skipped to episode 2. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's the problem I had with the Inquisitors. I couldn't say that without going to episode 2.
Well, knowing that, Moose, that makes sense. It does make sense you have that problem. But I think you also know, since you're saying that he fights, he continues to live, so we know that piece is going to come. Because I think that Reva, I think that she has a special connection with Anakin / Darth Vader. I think that there's this connection there that she has with him that nobody else does, because not everybody knows, from what I understand, that Anakin is Darth Vader at this point, because it's not something that's been brought up and can't come about.
So you say she has a special connection. I think she has a unique force ability where she can feel people and read their thoughts, kind of deal. Like she knew Obi-Wan, what he was thinking when she mentioned Darth Vader. And she knew, and so I think that's how she knows, right? I think because her force ability, she knows what people are thinking when they think it. Like she can kind of read their mind or feel their mind, their thoughts. So I thought that was pretty cool of her. So if we're gonna point out what you didn't like, the only thing I didn't like, and here's the Batman line, right? She's standing on the top of the building like she's Batman, watching across the whole town, right? Looking for Obi-Wan. And then they do this whole sequence. She sees the blaster fight in the distance, probably about 4 buildings away, 5 buildings away.
But doesn't
they give her like 6 minutes of travel time. She's parkaying off the wall, right? And force blasting pillars down, and she never makes it. But yet, Obi-Wan saves Leia from falling down, and instantly he's on ground level.
Yeah.
This is true.
Well,
he's Obi-Wan.
That's the difference. I could see some problems with that. But let's move on. How about the fake Jedi?
I think he did a great job.
I thought that was awesome.
That was funny. That was hilarious.
I think he did a great job.
He's carrying a lightsaber out when he's walking around, so everybody can see it. Like that's what a Jedi would do.
Listen, I can save you, but it's we're gonna have to cost you a little bit. This is not a cheap job. It's like so. But I thought even the actor who played him did a great job.
Yeah,
he usually plays comedic roles.
He does, but I thought he did a great job. He did fantastic. You wouldn't picture him in a Star Wars flick,
No, and he did a great job of showing some comedy to it, but not over the top. And then even right there at the end where he goes, regular person. Magnets. It's like, it's like I thought that was pretty cool. So listen, the first 2 episodes for me, if this, first of all, we got a third of the season already done. All right, just want you to know because there's only 6
Right,
episodes.
yeah.
Well, that's why we got to talk
That's
about it
true.
tonight.
Yeah, so third of the season done. But if this is what's to come for the next 4 episodes, or it's going to get better, wow, this may be the best they have.
All right, so let me ask you a couple of things. First of all, I thought Ewan McGregor does a fantastic job as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He sells the role. I'm a buyer. Here's what I'm not a buyer of. I'm not a buyer of. What I'm not a buyer of is necessarily, and maybe it'll come in time, and that is the third sister. I'm not. I thought the acting was over. I thought it was overacting. Same way that I would have had a problem with children actors, like when they overact, or
I definitely
the
have a
same problem. Maybe it's the same problem that people had originally with Hayden Christensen when he did Anakin Skywalker, where he was overacting.
Right, maybe.
But it just seems like, to me, I was like, man, I don't know who she is. I don't know what other role she's played. I don't know anything about her. Here's what I know. It seemed like it was forced, and I'm like, just settle into the role. Just settle. And maybe that's the director's, vision. I don't know, but I do have a problem.
Well, that might lead to my issue, because my issue is with Reba as well, but it's because I feel like there's no depth to her character. She's just always angry, like there's nothing there, and maybe it's because of that.
Intentional, yeah,
it might be, and that's what I'm thinking. Maybe there's some backstory, because Rob had said that she might have been one of the Jedis, and so I can see that from the temple.
Yeah.
So I can see that being a backstory there, but maybe that's why I feel that way, is because Moosh, you might be right that it's being like the.
Oh, wait a minute. So as we're thinking this aloud, remember that the Grand Inquisitor calls her, she has a stench, like she's not really one of them, right? So I think there's something to that, where she was spared from the temple because maybe she wasn't worthy enough to be killed.
Well, they said they found her in the gutter, so she may have just run away. It's hard to say. If there is a backstory there, I'd like that comment by Rob.
So the Inquisitors are meant to kill the Jedi, and if they didn't kill her, right?
Well, I thought Inquisitors aren't all Inquisitors were Jedi who then transferred over to the dark side. So she had to have been the light side prior to that. So it wasn't just
that's absolutely correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something. I think there is something there. We'll find out in episode 5.
Or 6 actually.
6, yeah.
Well, so this leads to one of my concerns with the show, which is, is it gonna be more? And I get where it's going, because that's the direction it has to go. Are we not going to see Obi-Wan, or we're just going to see old Ben from here on out?
I think we're going to see old Ben.
There's nothing wrong with old Ben. Nothing wrong with old Ben.
Well, but here's the issue that I have is I want to see him fight.
Well, I think that's coming. I think that's coming. I don't think you can have Anakin in there anywhere. That's a good point. Yes, that might be a really good thing there.
I like that.
Rob in the chat room, for those on your podcast app, she says, or he says, she's mad no one came to help her, and that might be a good point. That might be something that I really haven't seen.
And that's why she's obsessed with Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan never came.
That's because he was the one helping out. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's really good.
Hey, write that down in your notes.
I will. Obi-Wan. I have some highlights from the Obi-Wan. I have my top 4 that I really like. First of all, number 1 is Obi-Wan. I love seeing this guy as Obi-Wan. He just does a fantastic job. Number 2 was
Old Ben.
Connecting the dots in a nice way, in a nice manner. Like obviously when we have Leia, we would go amiss if we say that Leia's not in the show. She's in the show as a kid, and this kind of connects some of those dots as in in A New Hope, where she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope." And it's like, well, how does she know so much about Obi-Wan? Well, guess what? We're connecting those dots nicely.
And we get that tribute, right, where he's kind of leaning to her and talks to her.
Yes.
And we can see that she's already showing the Force in her thoughts and what she's doing. Yeah.
Right, which I love.
Through her bad acting, but go ahead.
And it's a kid. It's a kid actor.
I struggle with those parts, by the way.
I listen. Kid actors are always very difficult. That's why when I think of some of the other shows that's coming, Skeleton Crew, I'm like, oh, this may not go the way we want it to. But anyway, and then the Inquisitors. That is part of my highlights. I love seeing the Inquisitors in the show. I think that's just an awesome thing. And then finally, something that I haven't seen that is a highlight, because I know it's coming, is Liam Neeson is going to be somewhere. Qui-Gon Jinn is coming to a theater near you. He's coming back. He's in
He is,
some
yeah.
way as a force ghost.
Yeah.
Just that's I can't wait for that.
He's coming because he says, "Master,
Yes.
speak to me."
Yes, yeah.
Exactly.
He's
I'm
gonna
like,
have to. Well, and
this-
then,
and then in the intro where
Yeah.
we never heard that before, and all of a sudden, if we
Nope.
had skipped the intro, I don't think you would have gotten it.
that's exactly right. When Yoda tells him, he can teach you how to do that.
He
But
can
so
teach you
we're
how to-
gonna get
yes.
the voice moose, but I'm almost positive we're gonna get the Force Ghost for sure. We're gonna see him physically in that at some point before this season's over, which is awesome. I got a couple of things that I thought was really cool to see. They're kind of like little cameo pieces, but like the Spice Girl was Ewan McGregor's real daughter.
Yes.
And how he says,
"You took
he
mine."
said, "Hey, I took mine." How he says, she's saying, "Yeah, I know what it's like to have that." And then we get to see, I forget his first name, Morrison. As a cameo.
Tamura.
Yes,
Morrison,
thank
yeah.
you. He's the clone veteran on the ground. asking
Of
for the money.
course, yes.
Yes,
I
that was so
recognized that right
cool.
away. Yes,
Yeah, exactly. Those are some cool things that we got to see.
or
And I
Boba Fett,
was-
we should say, because that's Boba Fett.
Fett.
Yeah. of course.
I heard about this from our sources, but they actually had a Vader movement specialist on set, so they could make sure that Vader moves in the Vader way. So it's not just made up. It's not somebody else's take on it. It's a Vader specialist. I mean, how
I
cool
love
is that? You have a Vader specialist come in. Let me show
We've-
you how to move like Vader.
We've probably talked to him at a con once or twice, I'm sure. I mean,
Yes.
that's because our circles are small,
Mhm. So you
That's awesome.
guys took a lot of all the good points. I gotta tell
Thanks.
you what I really enjoyed about it is that the story didn't feel like it didn't fit. Like it felt like it just like square hole, square piece, boop, slid right in.
Yeah.
And you always get a little worrisome when they do like, they go back and they kind of say, "Hey, let me tell a story. We know where the story's gonna end. We're kind of just filling the back holes of it." Do I have some gripes with Leia as the child actor? I do. She got away from 3 grown people and was giving them a run for the money. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with the overacting inside in the town where she's giving him a lot of lip service and she's not really scared. Like I have problems with that because listen, any kid, spoiled or not, if you get taken and you got roughed up, they're going to be a little scared. So I'd like to have seen maybe a little bit more realism in that piece. But again, you just squint your eyes, close your eyes. You're in the Star Wars universe and you get past it. But the part that I'm really looking forward to, besides Obi-Wan, and there's going to be some epic build up to either a Grand Inquisitor fight scene and or a meet up. I don't know if you're going to see a fight of him and Anakin again, because that's what everybody wants. And that's movie worthy. Right, that's something you can put for a movie. I think that you'll see them run into each other again, and they'll see each other, but I don't think you're gonna have them fight. I think that's what's gonna happen. And that's gonna set up the scene in the episode 4 when they fight in the episode 4. That's why you're not gonna see them fight. I don't think you're gonna see them fight. But and I hope that's not true.
You're wrong.
I
You're
hope.
wrong. Yeah.
Listen. Listen, we've been surprised with what they did with Mandalorian at the end of the season. We've been surprised with what they did at the end of
Listen,
Boba Fett.
it's gonna happen. I guarantee it. And not only is it gonna happen, they would be amiss if they didn't disappoint us with the Mandalorian and what some of the things that we saw there with Luke Skywalker coming back and doing his thing.
Right.
Like it's not gonna be. It's gonna fit like a glove.
Yeah, Rob also says they're gonna fight. So so I am very just so you know, it comes out at 3 a.m. tonight. Or Wednesday, tomorrow morning. And I will be downloading it so I can watch it on the move. But yeah.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong, Rob. And here's the reason why. Because he still says when we last met.
Yes.
You were the master. So I was the apprentice. Now I am the master. Like that. That's going to be Vader's drive. I'm telling you. That's his inner peace. Not his PEACE. I'm talking about his PIECE. That's his inner peace. That his drive, his will to be better, his will to be angrier and evil. I think that's the thing. So anyway, that's my opinion.
Oh, he's ultimately gonna say, "Now I have the high ground."
No, he's not going to.
No, it's not going to happen.
But the biggest thing we're going to have, the biggest bad thing we're going to say about this is that it's too short. It's going to be too short. It's going to be 6 episodes. It's going to come and go. And you're going to be like, there's not enough. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a second
I'm going to give
season.
you. I listen. First of all, if they don't do a second season, they're in the wrong they're on the wrong business, because we already know that they broke the viewership in Disney Plus already with just this.
Right.
So if they just do it justice and they do the right things, they do a season 2, season 3. It may be able to explain some of these things. We talk about the aging process. Rob mentioned in the chat room with Obi-Wan, and you might see some of that explanations and how they come about. But here's what we got to see. We got to see more of the Inquisitors, all of them, because even the other guy, he's pretty bad. He's a pretty bad guy.
His brother.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
So we've got to see more of that. We've got to see Obi-Wan and what he can do and how it comes back to him. But he's going to give it up again. He's going to give up that process at some point in time, because I mean, he's like, at this point, he's like, yeah, I don't want to show people who I am, but more so they can't find him, kind of like how when Luke presented himself or went to the moon, the Endor, or on a ship, and he's like, Vader's on that ship, or Darth Vader knew that Luke's here, I can feel him, and so so it's just those things where you go, okay. But we want to see more of him. We want to see what he can do. I feel he's going to be old man Ben. I think he's going to take some time before he actually gets back into it. Like it's going to take some time for him to get into the groove. But I'm excited when he is in the groove, what we will see, because I think then you're going to see him, I think he's going to pull out some new tricks that we haven't seen for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and make his legend even more so. That's what I think. That's what we have to see. We got to see all of that. And we got to put this.
Are we going to call any spoilers that we're going to see that we're not going to, like, unexpectedness? Do you think something's going to happen? What's your prediction? Do you have a prediction of something that we may not see coming that's going to happen?
My prediction is that this piece with Leia has got to go away pretty quickly. Now she's been in it for 2 episodes now. I think we got to wrap that up pretty quickly.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be there to the end. It might be there to the end, and they can surprise me. But I just think that I guess it's because she's part of the story, so I might be wrong with that.
Well, Moose, I think she'll be part of it, but not fully involved like she is now. She'll just be pieces here and there because she's got to go back to that world. I've been trying to think of predictions because I usually have something to say, and listen to you guys talk. I love what Moose is saying. I'm scared about what Game God's saying. But I just want to I want to see something new. I don't want to predict it. I want it to come as a surprise. I don't want to make any predictions on this one.
Hey, so here's mine. We might see Yoda. We might see Yoda.
Wow. Okay. I mean, if that's the case, will it be impressive if we see Yoda? Yes or no?
He's got to teach him how to seek Liam Nelson, Qui-Gon. They got to teach him.
Listen,
so we're gonna see him.
It depends on what he does, Moose, to answer that question. If he'll be impressive, if he shows up as a Force ghost, then no, not impressive.
Well, he's not dead yet.
Yeah, no, he's
I know. I'm just saying it. If he doesn't show up as Yoda and what we saw in Clone Wars or other places, if he doesn't show up as that guy, then no.
Okay, so if he shows up,
I am. Show up, I will.
If he shows up, just like we saw him in the prequels, you're telling me it's going to be impressive.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, Yoda in a show.
Listen, I think you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying, will it be impressive? Are you going to be impressed? I would be, and I'd probably cheer just like I saw Luke come out at the end of Mando. Like, I'm going to be cheering and standing up and down and telling everybody to be quiet so I can hear what's going on. I'm the only person that can get up and yell. Anyway, with that, thanks for joining us again tonight, guys. We appreciate you hanging out with us in the chat room. Next week, some new stuff. Stranger Things is out. Have you seen that? We got to talk about that. Let's do it.
I was just leaving.
Nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert.
You've been listening to Podcast for Sci-Fi with Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike. Nerds have more fun. If it's anything sci-fi, we're talking about it. We had fun, and we hope you did too. We have to split, but we'll be back soon. In the meantime, hit us up at podcast4sci-fi.com. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Come to life.